Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Okay, it's such a mess. It is such a mess. It is such a mess. I am just getting back from Louisiana. Yeah, I got 3 books at the Barnes& Noble. Let me explain to y'all that Barnes& Noble's was like one of the best Barnes& Nobles I've ever been in. Like, they had so many popular books. Like, they had a whole Freedom McFadden section, and maybe the Barnes & Noble closest to me, like, isn't as big. I don't know, because that one was definitely smaller. So I have no idea what the gag, I have no idea. But that one ate down. She ate down. But anyways, while I was there, I got 3 books. But let me tell you my testimony of how I snatched the last copy of Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Let me tell you something. So I walk in, I walk in and I am looking for this book. I come here, I have a $50 gift card in my jacket because I'm in saving money mode. Okay, I care about coupons, gift cards, discounts, all that. I am paying attention to all that. So I'm looking for this book only. Like, this is the only thing I plan to walk out with. I'm looking around, I'm seeing like some great books, and I noticed that this other girl, but I'm not seeing Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm like, because at my Barnes & Noble, like, any new release, when you come in, there's a table full of the books, and I'm not seeing that. So and then I see there's a Hunger Games section, no Sunrise on the Reaping. And so I noticed this other girl's kind of like looking at the same books that I am, and I'm like, by perchance, are you looking for Sunrise on the Reaping? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, but I already asked them and they don't have any more copies. I was like, wow. So I walk around, I pick up some other books. I pick up Lost and Lassoed because, I'm making my way downtown. I'm making my way through the Lila Sage catalog. And, yeah, I think this one is the one that comes before. Oh, no, this is the one that comes after. Yes. Oh, yes. Teddy and Gus, because they were arguing a lot in Swift and Saddled. Okay, so I'm just reading these all out of order, but it's fine. So yeah, I find this, and then I find another highly anticipated, or another popular book, Wings of Starlight, and I'm super excited about this, but I'm realizing that it's a Disney book, which I'm like, because I was like, oh. Because I was like, how can they release a book about this? Disney's gonna, your lawyer, okay? But anyways, so yeah, I find these 2 and I'm like, I'm at the register. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I tell her, I flash her my card, my Barnes & Noble membership card. And she's like, oh, I noticed you got a 50% off book. Do you want to look at some of our other books? And I was like, no, to be honest with you, I came here for Sunrise on the Reaping and I didn't find it. Lo and behold, she reaches down yonder. She reaches down yonder and pulls this bad boy out from magic, from thin air. And she's like, you mean this? Like, this is the last. And so she mentioned that basically what happened was somebody ordered this, but then they didn't want it anymore. And that was like 10 minutes ago. Like, she literally just got off the phone with the person 10 minutes prior and was like, and they basically said that they didn't want the book anymore, and boom. It's a teeny bit like dented. Like, the book jacket is not in the most pristine. Like, it is, but okay. As a person who takes pride in taking care of their books, I notice when a book is not whatever, but it is brand spanking new. Can tell it's never been read, and that's what matters. And I am 52. I just spit. I am 52 pages in, and let me tell you, it's hitting the fan. It is hitting the fan, okay? Someone just followed my Instagram page. Follow me. I live loves literature on Instagram. But anyways, yeah, it's hitting the fan, and I just really wanted to pop in and talk about the book, because I know if I try to do a traditional review, it's gonna be like all over the place. So I kind of just want to do I don't know, But yeah, this is gonna be like a, like, not your traditional reading vlog. Like, you're gonna like, this is the only setup I can really give you guys, because I don't have a real camera, and also this is the best lighting. So I'm gonna be back here every single time to talk about the book. I hope that's okay. This will be spoiler filled. I'm so sorry, because The Hunger Games has been out for long enough that you should have read The Hunger Games by now, or at least watched the movies, okay? If you haven't, it's never too late. Get on it. But this will be spoiler filled because your girl has been a Hunger Games fan since middle school, okay? Since 7th grade specifically. Like, I feel like that's everyone's story. Like, everyone read The Hunger Games either in middle school or high school, and it had the time of their lives. I still remember being in this very room, reading the book, like reading the first Hunger Games book, and just being like so encaptured by a story, because I read it right after reading Harry Potter for the first time. So it was like 5-star after 5-star after 5-star series, back to back to back. Like, that was an epic golden age for literature. And now holding in my hands a new, because I did read where is she? I did read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. As you can see, I was in the middle of a reread like 3-4 months ago. But anyways, and I never made it through because I just was not in the mood. But yeah, I did read the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but I didn't read it when it first came out. I think I read it like a year or two late. I had no idea that she even came out with something, and then I still haven't seen the movie. Like, I liked this, but I'm not liking it as much as I'm already liking Sunrise on the Reaping. Like, I'm loving Sunrise on the Reaping right now. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was like, it was cool. Like, it was okay. I feel like Suzanne, Miss Suzanne, because we're on a first name basis, has really, really, like, worked on her pen. Like, she's really polished off her pen. Not saying that The Hunger Games wasn't good, because it was amazing, obviously. But, like, I feel like her writing is even better. Like, the poor and wretched don't escape if they conspire the law to break. This must be so, but they endure those who conspire to make the law. I don't know. I feel like she's really saying some political stuff here. I love the reveal that Haymitch knew Katniss's parents. Oh my gosh. So cool. So cool. So cool. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because, see, and I almost missed it. I almost missed it because he was hanging out with someone with the last name of Everdeen. His name was Boot. His name was something. What the heck was his name? Burdock. So yeah, he was hanging out with someone named Burdock Everdeen. And I was like, wait, Everdeen. This has to be someone related to Katniss, obviously. And I think it's Katniss's father, because they mentioned that Burdock is, and I had to reread this part twice, when they're like, Burdock is like in love with this girl named Astrid, and Astrid is a town girl. And she has like a long blonde braid. I was like, this has gotta be, and I read that, and then I was like, but then I was like, wait. This gotta be Katniss's mom. So it's just so cool. Ooh, I'm just now noticing, like, is this the same bird? Is this a mockingjay? And then it's tangled up, like, there's a snake right there. And then is this a mockingjay versus the snake? Like, is this Haymitch versus the snake? Like, what does it all mean? Like, I don't know. The whole part where Haymitch technically wasn't even reaped. He wasn't even reaped, but because the other boy, I'm already forgetting his name, Woodfire or something, because the other boy tried to run and got shot, and then Lenore Dove, Haymitch's girl, like, starts acting crazy. I can't remember why, but she gets turned up. Then Haymitch is like, wait, like, don't get her. Then they're like, oh, we found his replacement. Crazy. So now Haymitch has to go and fight to the death, which I'm like, of course, like, we obviously knew that because we already know Haymitch from the Hunger Games. But it's just like, really, like, I thought she was about to call his name from the little strip. Also, this Drusilla lady, I wonder, is Drusilla related to Effie in any way, or what? Or is this just like a job that gets passed down, or what? I don't know. Yeah, another line that I really, really loved is when, so Lenore, like, she doesn't react when Haymitch is, you know, like, announced as the new victor. Is that what it's called? Yeah, like, the new victor. But whenever it says, That's when I see Lenore Dove. She's up on a ridge, her red dress plastered to her body because it's raining, one hand clutching the bag of gumdrops. As the train passes, she tilts her head back and wails her loss and rage into the wind. And even though it guts me, even though I smash my fists into the glass until they bruise, I'm grateful for her final gift. That she's denied Plutarch the chance to broadcast our farewell. The moment our hearts shattered, it belongs to us. I was like, Miss Suzanne, you ate that. You ate that. Like, that pen work, like, it's interesting to see this perspective because Katniss wasn't really a lover girl in the series too much. But anyways, Haymitch is like a lover, like, he's a heavy lover boy. So it's so interesting seeing, like, Suzanne Collins write romance because we've never really seen that part of her before, because The Hunger Games was never a romance series because, for obvious reasons, they're fighting to the death. But, yeah, I really, really loved that. Also, Plutarch is in this book, which I find really, really interesting. Like, it's getting turned up, okay? That girl Maisily, the stuck-up girl, and Drusilla got into a slapping battle. Okay, they got into so Drusilla is basically the Effie. She's the one who is, like, gonna be with them, like Effie was, and, like, Drusilla was the one that called the names off the thing, you know? May the odds be ever in your favor, that girl. And then Maisily, she is one of the 4 tributes. There are 4 tributes because it's the 50th Hunger Games, which means it's the second quarter quell. And for this quarter quell, they just did double the tributes. Remember, for the 75th Hunger Games, the third quarter quell, they reaped from the existing pool of victors, which we already know about that because of Catching Fire, one of the best sequels of all time. But yeah, so it's the second quarter quell, and yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. It's a couple minutes later since the last clip. So you're telling me that the Mockingjay pen, she had a Mockingjay pen, said it was ugly, and she threw it out. Wow. So the Mockingjay pen is Maisili's, and maybe Maisily is going to give it to Haymitch. Maybe, and maybe Haymitch is gonna give it to Lenore Dove, maybe, or maybe he's gonna give it to Katniss's mom. See, but when Katniss got the Mockingjay pen, it was at the, what's it called? That black marketplace? Why the heck am I forgetting what is it then? I guess somebody traded it or whatever. Who was that woman who gave it to Katniss? Maybe that woman was special. I don't know, but that's interesting, y'all. We are learning some of the origins of the famous Mockingjay pen. I'm on page 76 now. It's so interesting to read, like, about Hunger Games as they came before the one that we know in the original trilogy, because they're always a hot mess. Like, I remember that from the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that, like, everything was a hot mess. People were dying when they weren't supposed to be dying. And, like, the same thing is happening here. Like, Luella just died during the, like, the chariot part, like, where they get on and the horses are pulling them and stuff. And it's like, this stuff, and, like, it was so wild and unorganized. And I'm like, the stuff that's happening right now does not happen in the current Hunger Games. I guess because that was what, the 74th Hunger Games, so they've had 24 years to fix stuff, and fix stuff they did, because it is, like, so unorganized and, like, so not well put together. But yeah, that's just something that I've noticed, that, like, it's really interesting to see how the author, like, started from the original trilogy, and she was like, okay, if I were to go back in time, what would I make unorganized or unkempt to show how we went from the organized Hunger Games we have here to how it used to be disheveled? Like, that's a really cool way to write within your own world. So I thought that was really cool. Okay, the lighting is absolutely horrible. Oh, the lighting is absolutely horrible, but like I don't even care. I have to talk about the Hunger Games right now at 6:40 in the morning. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. My light is failing me. My light is failing me. My light is failing me. Okay, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I have to talk about the Hunger Games right now. Sunrise on the Reaping has been so good. Like, so good. I know that a book is going to be good when I open it and start reading the first page just to get a gauge of it. And then, like, it actually ends up being extreme. I don't want to put it down. Last time we talked, I don't even know what happened the last time we talked. I am on page 200 right now. And we have met Wyrus and Beatty, and I love that. I love that Wyrus and Beatty are already victors. They're mentors now, and I love that Wyrus is mentoring Haymitch, or Haymitch and Macely and Wyatt. I think that's so cool, like how we're basically getting to see all of the characters who ended up having a main play in the rebellion. I wonder if like we're gonna see no, we're probably not gonna see Joanna because she seemed a lot younger than Haymitch. So yeah, we're probably not gonna see Joanna or like Finnick or the people who were like around Katniss's age, but like the older victors who like really had a huge part in the rebellion, we're definitely getting to see right now. Plutarch is playing the same role he was playing in what's the name of the book, in Catching Fire. He is like a friend of the rebellion. Like and you can kind of tell from the beginning how he lets Haymitch have like a couple more seconds with his family when it's time to say goodbye before they get on the train. You can tell because the way he just talks to Haymitch and the other tributes. And yeah, like I absolutely love that. If you can't tell, I'm eating it up. I have not been reading a lot of books outside of the romance genre, and this is doing it for me. It also helps that I love the Hunger Games, obviously, and I'm like so happy to be back in this world. I mean, like, not really, because it's a very depressing world, obviously, but like, you know. But yeah, I love I love that Beatty, well, I don't love, but it's crazy that Beatty is being punished by being a mentor to his own son. That is insane. That is insane. I can't for the life of me remember what his son's name is right now, but the fact that he has to be a mentor to his own son is insane because they didn't like that, like, he figured out the arena. So, like, this whole them destroying the arena didn't just start in Catching Fire, which I'm like, how did the game makers, oh, Plutarch was the game maker. Because I was like, how did the game makers keep letting this happen? They keep letting the tributes figure out the arena and destroy it. So they low-key messed themselves up when President Snow was greedy with the 75th quarter quell, or yeah, the 75th Hunger Games, the third quarter quell, when he was like, oh, we're gonna reap from the existing pool of victors, and Wyrus and Beatty ended up being chosen. He low-key screwed himself because they're the only people that knew how to break the arena. And then having Plutarch in there was you know what? Probably somebody whispered that in his ear. Yes, it was probably Plutarch. Plutarch weaseled his way up, and he got the trust of President Snow, and he was like, you know what? Let's make this Hunger Games. Let's reap the tributes from the existing pool of victors. And he knew probably there are not a lot of winners in Wyrus and Beatty's districts. And he knew they would get chosen. And he knew that that would be the dream team, plus Katniss and Peeta, to get the whole rebellion started. Oh my gosh. Genius. That is definitely what happened. I know that for sure. So yeah, that is so cool how I feel a direct connection to Catching Fire with all these same characters. The whole Luella thing creeped me out, okay? That was so creepy. It's making me wonder, like, I wonder who else was actually dead and they replaced. Because what I forgot to mention was, like, the whole debacle with Haymitch getting the peacekeepers off of Lenore. Like, they cut that part out of the Reaping whenever they aired it to the whole country. Like, they cut and paste and copy whatever they want. They splice together whatever film they want to make Panem looks like something. that it's really not. And I'm just wondering, what other footage have they never seen over the years? And I'm wondering who was really dead that they replaced with a mutt, essentially. Like, that's insane. That type of technology terrifies me, and I feel like we're low-key getting closer and closer to that point in real life with AI and holograms and robots and just like all these different technologies that I feel if they put them together, they could really do something very scary, and I am not up for that. That's what I've always loved about the Hunger Games, is I feel like Suzanne is dropping hints. I don't know if she is seeing the future. I don't know if God is giving her some dreams and he's like, hey, this is what's gonna happen, write about it. But I don't know, but it's scary. So when I picked it up yesterday, I read from 118 to 200, so that's where I am now. At that point that I was right at the part where Haymitch gets called into President Snow's like office or whatever, because like when Luella May died, he took her body up to President Snow's like office or whatever, or he took it to like the camera and he like pointed at her body and pointed at Snow and was like clapping and was like was making a scene. And President Snow, when you do something like that, he will get you. Even if you do something like avoid dying a painful death, or avoid killing your District 12 buddy by eating berries and dying of a painless death instead of letting them have one victor. He does not like that. He will get you. And he was basically like, listen, I can control how you die if from now on you act how I want, like act accordingly, basically. He was like, I can give you a slow, painful death and let your family watch, or I can let it be quick. That depends on how you act right now. Either way, you're gonna die. So it seems like Haymitch is set to die. We obviously know he doesn't die. So I'm really, really curious as to what ends up happening in the games. We are at the interviews. So I believe the interviews are the day before the games. So I think we are getting closer and closer to that point. Yeah, I think we are getting closer to that point where we are gonna enter the games, and I'm genuinely so excited. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how Haymitch lives, because it seems like President Snow does not like him at all. President Snow, I keep forgetting what the heck is wrong with him. He was poisoned, right? But like, why was that in Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes? He's 58 years old in this, and he's already coughing up blood. So I'm wondering like, what's going on? So he's really old by the time we get to Katniss's Hunger Games, because it's been 25 years. So that's interesting. But so good. I can't wait to get home from work and read tonight. Yeah. All right, y'all. I am here to talk about Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Okay, y'all. Yeah, I wish that we're not close enough yet where I want to record myself crying, but that's where I was last night. I was crying last night after I read this book. This book tore me up, and I didn't expect that, to be honest, because like we kind of know what was gonna happen because this is a prequel. But it's just like, I didn't expect it to be so sad. But not only that, the writing is really good. Last time we chit-chatted, we talked about, I don't remember where we were, but like the fact, like all the cameos from the different characters, love it. I think, yeah, the last time we chit-chatted was right before he went into the games. So yeah, he goes into the games. The part with the games wasn't that interesting to me. I don't remember it ever being, to be honest. Like, we're reading about that part in the Hunger Games book wasn't as interesting as seeing it in the film. Just because, I mean, you know, them kind of laying low and hunting in the forest for a few days, it's kind of, you know, it gets to a point. But so yeah, but all the deaths were really horrific and sad. I was watching a review last night, and somebody said that somebody also said that like they feel like the horrificness of the deaths were amplified. Yeah, I sobbed and cried. I really enjoyed like the commentary about propaganda though, because when Haymitch gets out of the games, he like they spliced together all of the video. They spliced together the video in a way that makes him kind of like not look like a good person. Like he kind of looks like a selfish person who is only looking out for himself, and like that's so not true. So he has that against him. He like when he wins the games, he's like isolated for days. That's probably, I guess, Snow was forming up the plan to like kill everybody he loves. Probably that's what he was doing. And then when he comes back to District 12, his mom and his little brother have been burnt alive. And then he accidentally feeds Lenore Dove, his woman, he accidentally feeds his girl poisonous gumballs. That was crazy. That was crazy. I low-key thought she had a little bit of a chance to make it, and maybe like she died later on, and that's why we don't see her in you know, the original Hunger Games trilogy. But no, of course she had to die too, and that part was like the writing of that part was so sad, and the fact that she was like, you know, don't let another sun rise on the reaping, which means like don't let this keep happening. Like, I don't know, the title was very poetic. I feel like this is my favorite title, and this is my favorite, like, just the best writing. I don't know, this is some of her best writing. I think Catching Fire will always be probably my favorite in the Hunger Games world, but this might be second. I don't know. It was really good though. Like, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I really enjoyed her commentary on propaganda and how you can't trust everything that you see. You don't know who's in control of what footage, where they got the footage, who has edited the footage, who's tampered with the footage, put it together to make a certain story. Everything's about narrative. Everything's about story. When you read the textbook, that's a narrative. That's a story. The order that they put things in, why do they put it in a certain order? Like, it's very dangerous having certain things in the hands of certain people, because it's like, you could twist things around, and people these days don't actually do actual research in like places like libraries, so they just believe everything that they're told. So, you know, that part's very scary. I thought the part where in the epilogue where he was talking about Katniss was like so sweet. Like, it's so interesting to see. I wish you could have read like a little bit more of how he views Katniss. He kind of views her as like his Luella May. Yeah, his Luella May. I thought that was really cute, like how she wears her braids and stuff. I really liked that. Like, he's kind of low-key or like a father figure to her a little bit, and that's sweet because Katniss's father died when she was pretty young, and Haymitch he will never have kids, I'm positive, because, you know, he still keeps Lenore Dove with him. Like, he still thinks about her, and I just wonder, will he ever talk about her? Like, will he ever tell like Katniss and Peeta about her, or is there even a point to do that? Like, do they share like Hunger Games? Do they even want to share Hunger Games stories, or like what? Like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about all that stuff. Like, wow, like all the trauma that he has, and it's like, oh, when you realize that's why he's an alcoholic, I get it. Like, he's drinking away all the stuff. He's pushed everybody away. He's a recluse because like anytime he tries to strike out or be, you know, against Snow, everyone around him gets killed. So I wouldn't make any type of moves either. I'd just be there being a puppet. So yeah, it was wow to see like how Haymitch got to where he was crazy. And the fact that he like got some goose eggs, and like we know Lenore Dove loved geese, and just, man, like when you realize like all the ways that people have impacted you, whether they're still here or not, it was just, that was so beautiful and so impactful, and I really love that. I love that. So it kind of sucks that like Haymitch was supposed to be like what happened? Like, that's why I was so shocked when like Plutarch was talking about like the plan to like kind of defy the Capitol this early, because it didn't end up happening until 25 years later. So, or 24 years later. So I'm like so confused as to like what happened. Like, did Haymitch just like did Plutarch just forget about him or give up? Like, why didn't it ever actually happen is what I'm curious about. Like I guess Haymitch just knew about it, and he was like, he sat on that for 24 years. Like, imagine sitting on like this kind of master plan, or sitting on these feelings of rebellion for 24 years. Like, that is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. So Yeah, and ooh, and the fact that like I said, I don't remember what happened at the end of Battles of Songbirds and Snakes, but like the fact that Lucy Gray, we don't know what happened to her, and I love how Haymitch kind of uncovered that. Like, um, yeah, I love that. He was like, oh, when they saw the picture of her, when the girl, the wheels were turning. When they saw the picture of her and she was like holding out her hand to like someone with like a blonde boy with curly hair, and I was like, that is President Snow. Because at the time I forgot that like they had a thing or whatever. But I was like, that's President Snow. And I thought that Suzanne was going to let us figure it. Like, I had figured it out. And then on the next page, Hamish had figured it out. Because he was like, the person who was in the picture had to be 40 years older. Because, and then I go to Google and I'm like, how old was President? Because it mentions that he's 58 in this book. So I go to Google and I'm like, how old is President Snow in the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes? And I forgot that he was 18. So that is President Snow in the picture. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out exactly why President Snow I guess he hates Katniss in the Capitals. I mean, Katniss in District 12 so much because it reminds him of like love that he couldn't have. I'm like, so you're like a revengeful person because you couldn't have this girl, or like what? Because like, I don't know where President Snow, like he teeters the line of like good and bad. Like, is he a good person? Is he a bad person? Like, is he doing bad things for a good reason, or is he doing good things for a bad reason? I think it's the second one. And I'm kind of like, I was never rooting for him in the book. I didn't really care. In the movie, like I said, I feel like because they cast someone attractive as President Snow, like that's what's giving it its whatever. But I don't know. I'm like 1/4 of the way through the movie, but yeah. But yeah, those are all my thoughts. I don't know what my official rating is. I told myself that I would have my rating by now because I finished it almost 24 hours ago. But I don't have my rating yet. But I want to give it 5 stars. But I'm like, am I giving it 5 stars just because it's a Hunger Games book and like the nostalgia factor? Or is it actually worth 5 stars? Because a component of a 5-star book for me is me wanting to read it again. And right now, I don't know if I want to read it again. Like, I feel like it was a good first time read because it's like, oh my gosh, like all the cameos and all the ways that like it bridges between the it bridges between the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the original Hunger Games trilogy. Like I'm like, did I just think it was cool because of that, or is it like truly a 5-star book? So because of that, I think I'm just gonna give it 4.5 stars, which means like we still have not read a 5-star book this year yet. This time last year, I had read like 4 or 5 5-star books, but we have not stumbled across our 5-star because, like I said, I don't want to read this again at least anytime soon. Like, I mean, maybe I could read it again to see like what maybe I could see like what I missed the first time around. Like, it won't be as sad because I already know who dies and how they die. So, but I don't know. Right now it's 4.5. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little vlog talk session about Sunrise on the Reaping. This is one of the series that really solidified me as a reader, like I said. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later in the next video.